Welcome back. The market hasn't shown any signs of a let-up. 14,500 is where we're at, and things are still pretty solid. Let's take some final commentary with Anand as well. Anand, on tech stocks, what's your take right now? They've had this great run before the numbers and then even during the quarterly updates. Would you look at buying anything at these levels?
So it basically depends on whether you're playing for falling off dollar, inflation, and so on, or you're playing for business as usual. I think the fact of the matter is that the IT companies the commentary has been so strong that you can safely assume that we are now looking at fairly strong earnings growth, at least in the mid-teens, if not better, for most companies. The question is therefore, like I said, valuation. If you think that interest rates, etc., will become higher, inflation will come up, and so on, then the place to be is overweight commodities and cyclicals. If you think that inflation will remain somewhat benign, even if it does go up, then I think you're back to buying IT. In either case, it's only a marginal difference as far as the portfolio is concerned, because I think with the kind of earnings growth that you're likely to get, IT will have to remain at least a market rate, if not slightly overweight.
Okay, before we let you go, just last word, Bharti Airtel, Anand, you reckon it's perhaps back in it's a big bull market. Would you buy it at this level?
So from a relative perspective, yes, I think, as I said, I think that the analysts are underestimating the kind of revenue growth and consequently profit growth that you will see in telecom over the next 2-3 years. Near term, of course, it can go either way, but slightly longer term time frame, I think there is more upside on that stock.
Okay. All right, Anand, good talking to you today. Thank you very much for taking out the time and being with us on the show. We'll connect again soon. Well, with that, let's shift focus to a CNBC TV 18 exclusive. Sources tell us that states are asking for additional borrowing from the centre on account of lower devolution in FY21. Sapna Das has more details on the story. Tell us more, Sapna.
Hi, Silbi. So this has been a year of all kinds of additional borrowings, both for the centre and the states. And the centre had announced a massive expanded borrowing program for the state governments way back in the Atmanirbhar package. But 2-3 events have unfolded since then. Basically, what the states are saying is that and this is again on expected lines, that the devolution given to the states is much lower than what the government had anticipated in the budget estimate way back last Feb. I mean, obviously, when the revenue stream has shrunk for everyone, I suppose the devolution has also come down. A quick look at that number, somewhere around, slightly over 4 lakh odd crores versus the under 8 lakh crore target that has been set out in the budget so far. And these are the April-December estimates in terms of the devolution. So that's one lower. The second aspect, which is more important probably, is the fact that the additional borrowing, not of around 1% that was given to the states, was linked to 4 critical state-specific reforms. On that front, a lot of states have come up to the centre saying that, not all the states will be able to meet all those reforms before the financial year ends. So, the additional borrowing limit of, say, around 0.25%, say, for example, linked to ease of doing business. 8 odd states have done it so far. We really don't know how many of them will be able to do the whole thing. So, to that extent, the ability to avail this additional borrowing on the part of the state government is constrained. Hence, they're requesting the centre on 2 things. One, they should be allowed some kind of additional borrowing outside this, again, in the current financial itself to meet up for the devolution shortfall. And second, probably, the roadmap for these state-specific reforms can be extended. So that's one for the current year. Very quickly for the next fiscal, on expected grounds,
Sure.
They're asking for relaxed borrowing limits just the way 0.5% was the unconditional limit that was given this year. So something more than that for next year. And, of course, a gradual withdrawal from the WMA relaxation that was given by RBI.
Okay. All right, Sapna, thank you very much for getting us the details on that story. With that, let's come back to the market as we're closing out just the last 2-3 minutes left now. 233 points higher, 14,514. What a solid comeback, Anuj. I mean, I'm just thinking that it wasn't patchy, it wasn't sort of indifferent. It was just solid all throughout.
Yeah, I think just the first 15-20 minutes, and you would expect that because there would be people who would be thinking, is this the gap up to
to sell again.
To sell again and to just cut my losses if you got in late. So you saw that at the start, but after that it was just one way. Once you took out the first hour high, After that was one way. That's why, on days like today, you wait for the first hour high or low to be breached, because after that you see a bigger move on the market, and you saw that. Also, Surabhi, what stood out for me today was that a lot of stocks made a big comeback today. It was led by the NBFCs. I think HDFC had the biggest contribution on the index today, 3.5% higher on that stock. Of course, the biggest gainer was Bajaj Finserv. That was up 6.5%. Bajaj Finance as well up 5%. Tata Motors 5% higher on that stock. What else? Adani Ports has been making some big moves. Sun Pharma up 3%. ICICI Bank moved up 3%. Larsen & Toubro, Tata Steel, Axis Bank, ONGC, HDFC Bank, pretty much everything actually. There are not too many losers. I just want to point out some more names which stood out on the way up. Hindalco was up about 3.5%. That had a big move in trade. GSW Steel as well. Cipla had a big fall yesterday. That stock bounced back about 2.5% higher. Asian Paints, that stock has corrected actually a bit, but today it bounced back. Tata Steel ending at the highest point of the day. So in fact, from the lowest point, Tata Steel rallied about 5.5%. So that stock did well. Hero MotoCorp as well. So as I said, across the board there were winners. If you want to talk about some losers, Mahindra & Mahindra was a bit soft, down about 0.5%. Tech Mahindra, 1/3 of 1%, and ITC towards the end did see some fall. Remember, ITC has been going up of late. Yesterday it was strong in a weak market. Today it was weak in a strong market. It's that kind of a stock.
Okay, and on mid caps, the party was back on. Very, very solid advanced decline ratio. The mid cap index outperforming the large cap indices as well. And look at the gainers list. Today, real estate, by the way, has been a red hot space once again. It doesn't matter which stock you're picking up. Look at DLF, look at Oberoi, look at Shobha. All of these stocks are up and about. In fact, not just real estate. Then you look at the extended building materials space. Something like Century Ply, Green Ply, Somani Ceramics. So this entire real estate and building materials theme was very solid today. Tata Elxsi is ending with a gain of 10%. That's the kind of move that we've seen. Then there are the others like IDFC First Bank, 8%, Chola Investments about 6-7% over there as well. So very, very solid moves. L&T Finance, of course, up 7%, reversing all of the losses from yesterday. So that's how it's played out. Some very solid trends in the market today. Not too many losers to really speak of. We should pull up, by the way, Apollo Tyres, CEAT, some of these numbers. CEAT's numbers were very, very solid. And Apollo Tyres also had a good session. Some of the tire stocks were also looking fairly good. Not too many losers, as I said. Maybe a Tata Consumer Products, maybe a Jubilant Foods. Really a day of the gainers and not the losers. Okay, on that note, let's take a final word with Mitesh. Mitesh, looking at just the strength of this reversal, it's as strong as the red bars that we were discussing yesterday. What is your overall takeaway and your advice for tomorrow?
Okay, Surabhi, I think I'll just add something to it. It's stronger than that, but yeah. But I think, the important part was the fall on Friday and Monday kind of, put the intraday indicators on sell mode, or, the negative mode. And the daily and the weekly still remain positive. So I think it's a market which might just amble around for a few days, 14,650, 14,200, 150 broadly, give and take a few points. I think that should be the broad range. But I think until the lower end of the range breaks, I think there's a good chance that we will see continuation of this trend on the upside after a 3-4 day kind of consolidation.
All right, got that, Mitesh. Thanks very much. You have a good evening, and we are going to catch you with the market action bright and early tomorrow morning once again. On that note, a quick break. On the other side, vehicle insurance premiums, motor insurance premiums could get costlier for those of us who have a tendency to violate traffic norms. We'll tell you all about IRDAI's latest discussion paper on this. Very interesting details coming right up.